Alrighty guys, so I just want to preface this video and say that I'm not political literally at all, but I am being essentially heavily impacted by the current political environment. Well, my business is actually not even sure. There's so much uncertainty right now revolving around my industry and my state, and I'll just dive into why. So, the Inflation Reduction Act, one of the things it was supposed to do was make high efficiency home upgrades easier for low income people to access. Okay, so that's where we come into play. We're an HVAC contractor, and this is nationwide. This isn't just in California, but each state was in charge of distributing the federal funding that was available. So California, every state was supposed to propose a plan. I think at the time when Trump took office, somewhere between like 15 and 20 states had proposed their plans for distributing the funds, and those states, there was a rebate available, and that rebate was $4,000 or $8,000 per install, and it was supposed to be based on income in the area you live. So these were income-based rebates based on the average income of people in our area, so in San Diego. So the reality is that we're not a big company. We're a 6-person company, including me, and we've done, so far I think we've done 12 or 13 installs that were $8,000 a piece. We have not done any of the $4,000 installs. They've all been $8,000 installs. No, I take that back. We did one $4,000 install. So I think we did 12 $8,000 and one $4,000. So we have not been paid yet on any of them. So let's do some math. So 8,000 times 12 equals $96,000 plus 4,000. That's $100,000. Now, in addition to that, there was another rebate that was supposedly a local rebate in California. And anyone who got a heat pump essentially would get $1,000 or $1,500 back. And we've got somewhere between like 20 and 25, because all these ones qualify for both. And so we were offering these people these rebates that were available. Now, a lot of contractors, when something like this comes out, they would mark it up and then take off the rebate. Trying to be a good person, I guess, was like, you know what? I won't do that. So I'm going to not mark it up, and I'm going to give you, I think I was charging a little bit more, like very little, and I wasn't discounting. That was the other thing. It was like, you pay full price minus the rebate. And by doing that, I felt like was covering my ass a little bit, right? I was almost planning on maybe 10 to 20% of these rebates not coming through at all, just because of some stupid reasons. I knew that the application process would be hard, and it's very convoluted. But a lot of the people that we did these installations for with an $8,000 discount from the federal government, they wouldn't have been able to afford the work if we had not had the rebate available. So they would call and say, hey, like, I saw this rebate and I would like to have an installation done utilizing these federal funds. Not all of them. Some of them, I think some of the people objectively could probably afford to pay us, but it's like, I promised, I was the one doing all these sales calls. These were very complicated quotes to do and make sure we checked all the boxes. And basically, the issue that we're having now with these rebates is that they've told us none of the money's guaranteed anymore. They're saying, hey, we'll pay out what we can, and then That's it. And that is not what we were told. We were told, hey, we have this money. It's been given to us by the federal government. And you guys can just, I mean, it wasn't quite this simple, but essentially we were told to go buck wild, start doing these installs. So, I mean, we didn't do 100 of them. We did like 13, but we're a small company. And I guess just being quite transparent, for the sake of content or this video or whatever, this I knew that it was going to be essentially like net 90-ish billing with the government. So they were going to pay me like a few months after the work was done. That's what they pretty much told us from the get-go. So this rebate for us in our area went live. Like we didn't have access to even start applying, like qualifying homeowners for the rebate till late November. And so we didn't do our first installs till like mid-December. And net 90 be January, February, March. So we were pretty much anticipating getting paid in March, like this month. Right now it's March 2nd. So we are on track, like in terms of our application stuff, to essentially start getting paid mid-March. And at this point, I have no idea. I don't know if we're going to get paid $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. I don't know if we're going to get paid zero. So we've been instructed to halt doing these jobs, but there's work that's been done. And yeah. Felt like I did, everything. Felt like I did everything right. I was trying to do it like a way that would be beneficial to people, the way that these rebates were designed for. I was trying to help people. And I felt like I was helping people. I had people that were like, a lot of the people we were doing this work for weren't people that were gaming the system. They were people that, like one of them, his name's Jerry, right? He's an old Vietnam vet. And he had a wall heater that had been red tagged by the utility company here. So he didn't even have anything. We put in a 2-zone mini split in his house. He paid us $900 for it. He wouldn't have done that. He would have just kept a wall heater. So it's a big upgrade for his house, but it's not something he could have realistically been able to afford if it wasn't for this program. So now you're telling me that I get to go to Jerry and try and get my money from Jerry, and if he doesn't want to pay, I can put a lien on his house. Like, I don't know. That's crazy. Like, I don't know why I'm making this video, but it's not a cry for help. I've done this whole business without any crazy outside funding. I'm not I'm not established. I have a business, but I'm not, I guess I grow out my beard to look older so that I represent myself as like someone who's like a little bit more seasoned, but, I started this business. I was 20, how old was I? 2 years? I was 27. This business isn't even 2 years old, so I'm 29. And, yeah, I can't I don't have anything to absorb a $100,000 hit, let alone like right now I'm looking at $130,000. So it's like I built this business. Alex helped me build this business. So it's like Alex has been the one person that's been with me since day one. But technically I am the sole owner. The whole financial burden only rests with me. And maybe that's a good thing at this point, because if I take a $130,000 hit, like, whose credit does that affect? Only mine, right? Like if the business disappears. So it's like, I'm not saying that the current administration is trying to kill off businesses, but like that's what the actions of, like, and I'm not political. Like I said, I'm very apolitical. I didn't even vote. I didn't vote either the last couple elections. I'm not from California. I'm not like born and raised Republican, born and raised Democrat. I'm almost completely unopinionated on the political spectrum. I'm not in like, not that I don't hold any opinions. If anything, I'm probably more libertarian, but we won't even die. I mean, I actually cut that. We'll cut out my, I mean, yeah, I'm not, this isn't supposed to be necessarily a political opinion video. I'm not a political channel. I'm an HVAC contractor, guys. Like, and that's just what I thought I was doing. And I've had a plan. I'm a man with a plan. I'm doing well. All the people in my life have seen me like grow in this business. I feel like I've done well. I've done things the right way. I've done things by the book. And here we are. So $130,000. So that's where I'm at. That's more than I pay myself right now. My business, I mean, objectively speaking, I cannot absorb a $130,000 hit. So like, I don't know if people watching this are like, oh, I could. I didn't like invest in Bitcoin when I was young. You know, I didn't like strike it rich. I'm doing HVAC, you know, like, so I've been doing this for a long time now, longer than I ever thought I would, but I actually do like doing HVAC. So that's the thing. It's like, not saying I'm not in this to make money, because I think everybody's in anything to make money, but I haven't really cared about how much money I've made per se, because I keep my expenses somewhat low. I don't have a family. I rent my place still, and yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I have I mean, my average payroll every week right now is 8 to 10K. I pay rent here. I mean, I have an office now. We have multiple vehicles. We have like a lot of expenses, and now I have debt related to this rebate program, which I never really had before. I never had hardly any debt. If I carried debt, it was always a small amount, and right now I've got, I mean, besides, I've got like a decent amount of credit card debt. I didn't take out like a long-term loan for this. I was just like, hey, I'm anticipating net 90. I can eat some interest in the first month or two. You know, I didn't really think it was a big deal, but I thought the government was gonna pay. like that's really, it's like, you think the government tells you something that they're gonna do it. So I guess that's not something I really believe anymore. But it's like, even when I would tell people about this, they'd be like, oh, heck yeah, you're doing these rebate jobs. It's so cool. Like, I'm like, yeah, like, so cool. Like, even at the time, I was like, yeah, like, it feels, I mean, I thought it was a cool thing. Like, I thought I was doing things the right way. Like, a lot of companies don't offer stuff like this, not for this reason, but because they don't like dealing with the bureaucracy of it all. I didn't think that this was a risk involved with offering these rebates. So it's like, do I go and have a conversation with a bunch of people that probably don't have the money that they got to pay up? Or do I, like, where does the buck stop? Because most of these other people all have families. I don't. So let that sink in for a second. So yeah, I'm not saying that, I don't know. I think we'll leave it at that. So if you made it this far and you're religious, never mind. I'm not gonna go there. This isn't political. This isn't, I don't care. I don't care about any of that. I just do my thing over here. I'm not political, I'm not religious. I just do my thing and try not to bother anybody and try and do a good job at what I do and try and encourage all my guys to do the same. And I feel like I've got a good group of people. I got an office gal now and 4 other field guys, and we got 2 crews going and me and someone working in the office, and we got the whole operation. And we weren't relying on these rebates before. We just offered it because we were already doing high efficiency. This is really what it is. So we were already doing almost exclusively qualifying installs minus a few steps, but they came out with this rebate that made it way more like all these stupid requirements. We had to get some third-party inspections and pay extra money and all this extra stuff. And so we had sometimes specific things we have to do that would make the cost go up more. And so we did all these different things, and all these installs were more expensive than they needed to be because of this rebate program. And I'm paying all these other people to do things and blah, 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 blah. And now they're telling us essentially that none of the money is guaranteed anymore. They're like, hey, yeah, we know we owe you all this money, but sorry, we don't know if it's going to get paid. And so here we are. I didn't even think this was like necessarily our big break. I just thought like, hey, this is kind of cool. We'll just offer it. And we were doing A-okay without it. And guess what? Now this is what's happening. So, yeah, instills a lot of trust in our government from me, you know, when this is what happens. So yeah, that's where I'm at financially. Been a bit of a shit show. Not gonna lie and tell you that. It's like every day I wake up and I have no idea what's going on, what's gonna happen, what kind of bad news I'm gonna get, because it's been only bad news. So, and the price of equipment and everything is just skyrocketing, and yeah, it's crazy. So, you got anybody? Yeah, I'm just absolutely baffled right now. So, I don't know. Any people have advice, go ahead, but I'm not looking for it. I already know what kind of situation I'm in. I know that a big part of it, I guess you could say, is my fault, because every decision that's been made ultimately was me doing it, okay? So the reason that I offered the rebate, though, was because I had customers asking, and I was like, wow, like, yeah, I'll do that. Like, that seems like a cool thing. So I started offering it, and it's like federal funding. I did some research into it. I didn't just go into it blind, and yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It just feels bad to be completely out of my control. It's like we got these politicians, right? That, I mean, I guess can backtrack on stuff because they didn't like what the last politicians did, which, I mean, I guess makes sense, but I wish there was like a cool down period, you know, where it's like, hey, we got this funding. If you want to take advantage of it, you got 3 weeks left. Right? Like, doesn't that make more sense? Like, not the way it's, I mean, it's just like the day that Trump took office, it's just been like, nothing. So yeah, we are in a very tough situation right now. And the other issue is we have no idea if we're in a tough situation. Like, we've been told that we got all this money, that we don't know if it's gonna actually, if any of it's gonna be delivered. So there's some of them that we already know, we're pretty sure we're not gonna get paid on because they were like our more recent applications. But like the ones we did, the installs we were doing in December, we still don't even know if we're gonna get paid on those. So I was pretty careful to never do more than 50% of our work with these rebate jobs. That way we could have cash flow moving. But even at that, like, I was still like, I mean, the equipment has to get paid for somehow. Like, it doesn't pay for itself. So I don't have all my lines of credit with my suppliers are pretty much at like zero right now. Like it's mostly all just credit card debt. So best kind of debt, you know, higher interest stuff. So, and it's like, do I want to go out? I mean, I started this whole business. I did it all without outside funding. I own the business 100% of it. So I'm not interested in selling to private equity. And so I don't know what I'm going to do. I have zero plan right now, and it's completely like there are things that are in my control, but we're like about $1 million a year business, and so we're talking about pretty much a whole year's worth of profit right now is in limbo. That's really what it boils down to. So guess who doesn't get paid? And like, not only like that's not profit, that's like a year's worth of what, like I don't even pay myself that much. So like we would be on track to finally like starting a new business. It's like we haven't even been in business for 2 years. We'll be in business for 2 years in June. And it's like, man, when you have a new business, it's like financially it's always one step forward, two steps back. There's so many unexpected expenses, and we finally got out of that. We finally have been like, you know what? Like we've been crushing it. We've been doing all these jobs. We've been doing all these things. We're like, people call us and they always think we're like a bigger company than like they never expect to be dealing with the owner unless unless it was a referral. But people find us on Google organically. You'll see us on YouTube, and it's like we go out, we do clean work, and we're professional. We do all these things, and it's like, man, like I finally thought we were going to be in a good position financially. We would have been there without this rebate. That's the frustrating thing. And then this rebate comes along and just fucks it all up. So it's like, I mean, and really the crazy thing is like we're being told that like nothing's known. They're like, hey, stop doing all jobs. And like a couple weeks ago, they were like, hey, you are good to like all these jobs that you've got approved, you're good. But the jobs that you're applying for, we don't know. We're like, okay, whatever. Then we'll only like that's fine. And now, literally last Thursday, so a few days ago now, on February 26th or 27th or something, we got a memo saying, guess what? Like, we're not guaranteeing any more payments. Like zero. Well, guess what? We haven't ever got paid. So yeah, it's like I thought I was doing things the right way up to this point. We've had zero financial problems, and I mean not zero, but like it's like every time we have a financial problem, I've always made sure that we have a way to pay it, right? The only reason I would have taken on, like, it's like we're doing business with the government. They're good for it. Like I don't know. I'm very careful about mitigating risk. And I didn't think this was a risky endeavor I was doing. That's really what it boils down to. So, and now I have no idea. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I will leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Hopefully your day is going better than mine, because every day lately I've been waking up has been a shit show. So hopefully we just get paid all this money, but who knows. Red out.